Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. In this episode I'll be teaching you how to make this fondant ruffle cake. Prepare your fondant, and I've got some purple fondant here. I'm just rolling it out to about 20-25 centimeters in height, and then I'm using a ruler to cut around the edges, and I'm cutting it to the thickness of the ruler. That way each strand will be the same thickness. Using a bowl tool, I'm going to start rolling it back and forth on a sponge mat, and that'll help create the ruffle. So it's half on the fondant, half on the foam, adding a little bit of pressure and going back and forth, as you can see here. It's very easy to do. Right to the end. I'll show you guys one more time. And even if you do a couple of movements, sort of pulling it towards the left, like that, also works. I've got the cake here that I've already started, and I'm adding a little bit of edible sugar and edible glue onto the cake, and then lining it up diagonally with the rest of the fondant layers here. And then if I don't like how it's sitting, I'll just use the other end of my bowl tool, so the smaller bowl tool, fit it underneath the fondant and just pull it up and pinch it between my fingers, and they'll create artificial ruffles. Just kind of like a cheat there. So again, adding some edible glue, and you can have a better look at how I'm applying it here, so diagonally. And then the top of the fondant, I'm just pulling it towards the middle of the cake. Just on top like that. And just keep going until you've covered all of the cake, making sure to keep them diagonal and try to keep it as kind of as uniform as possible. You don't want some to be too diagonal, others to look a little bit straighter, because then this happens. So I don't know how I did it, but I managed to get a little bit of piece here that was just kind of naked, and I'm just fitting my ruffles in between there, so it's an easy fix. But if you were to keep them straight all the way around, you wouldn't have this problem. And like I said, you really couldn't tell at all, which was great. But that becomes your back. You gotta be inventive in cake decorating. Gotta be very creative with how you mask the mistakes. It looks just like that. Then I'm going to make the ruffle flower on top. So I have 3 different cutters, and I'm using the scalloped edge side to cut those out. Then again using the foam mat and a coned bulbous tool, running it back and forth and just creating those ruffles. So stretching it out and pulling it up, making sure to overlap each time. And then just layer them on top of each other and pinch them at the edges just to try and lift them up a bit, give it the flower a little bit more dimension. Pop it directly over the cake, and again just manipulate it however you need, make it look nice and full. And then I'm going in with an airbrush here just at the bottom of the cake to create a bit of an ombre effect, although you can skip this step completely, it's really unnecessary, but I love my airbrush, so just went in a little bit. And then I'm using my steamer here to remove any excess cornstarch and just give that colour a nice vibrant look. Got some fondant here, added some edible glue, and I'm popping over the wafer paper with my edible ink printed message. And cut around the edges with my spatula, and then cut some triangles into the end of both sides and fold that over to make a banner. Just pop that on the cake board and you're sweet. And that's how you make a fondant ruffle cake. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's an easy one to make. You don't have to have that airbrushed ombre at the bottom of the cake. I just added that as extra detail. If you like, you can subscribe to my channel. I upload a new video every Tuesday and Saturday. Hope you guys give this one a shot, and I'll see you next time.